How pleased are you for Fraser, given what he went through before this run?
Yeah, I mean, he had a horrendous injury. To come back, to come back so fit and strong. Obviously, the staff have obviously done very well with him, and his own personal mental side of it. Obviously, he's very strong-minded. Obviously, to come out, I think again, he doesn't see the first goal, the first game, the second game. Again, it'll breed confidence that from him, and he's obviously gone on to do very well. As I say, to obviously break the record. So. And then coming to Euros soon, hopefully, as I said, I don't want England to do too well because they're playing Wales, but hopefully be in the squad for pushing Joe hard for the European spot.
Do you have to be? I guess as a goalkeeper, you have to be very mentally strong, don't you? Because of the position and everything that goes along with it. So when you're a keeper and you're coming back from a long-term injury, that presumably can be quite a difficult thing, can't it, when you haven't had that sort of repetition of playing in goal for a while?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he would have done his training, but training you really can't put into games as much as he would have tried to do everything in the training. But come game-wise, it's slightly different. But he's done fantastic well, and certainly some of the games, the Arsenal games, certainly I remember. And I think West Ham, he's pulled off some great saves to sort of keep that run going as well. So again, each time will give him more confidence, and the team as well. The team, you're thinking if they get beaten by a player or so on, you've got a keeper behind him to hopefully stop him, and that's what he's been doing.
What sort of impresses you about him as a goalkeeper?
I just think he's a big lad, but reflexes-wise, superb. His shot stopping has been tremendous. Decision-making seems very good, which is always a good thing. I coach my young kids, and I try to tell them that obviously it's all about, a lot of them are good shot stoppers, but decision-making and the talking really. I think he seems to organise the boys very well in front of him. And that breeds confidence with the back four and so on.
Is that an underrated part of being a keeper, you think, that's maybe not focused on so much? Is that kind
Yeah, I think probably people don't realise so much because you can't really hear it if there's 32,000 plus in games, that they don't really hear the organisation. But I'm sure he does it very well. From what I've read about what one or two of the players certainly said, that's what he does, and you can sort of see he's shouting and organising. And sometimes it's just to keep yourself as well, to keep yourself on your toes, because sometimes you don't have things to do, which one or two games he hasn't, and also he has to react to making a save. So if you just literally stood watching as well, you can end up daydreaming. So again, I'd say to my young boys, always try and keep talking because it keeps you alive as well.
How strong a case do you think he has when it comes to England?
Oh, certainly. I mean, Joe Hart's done okay this season. I wouldn't say he's been fantastic. Who else really? Obviously Butland, perhaps at Stoke, has had a very good season. So I certainly think it'd be those three if they're all fit, and then it's obviously down to the manager what he sees and what he thinks as well. So I would be very surprised if he's not in the squad for starters. And then really, it's whether he gets a heads up against Joe and obviously Jack Butland as well.
Do you feel with Fraser that he's reaching a sort of age where he's getting into the prime of his career as a keeper?
Yeah, certainly he's 27 now, so I think it's a good age. He's played a number of games now as well, and obviously been at Celtic and so on. So he's had the experience. I think obviously the Scottish Premier League isn't as tough as the English Premier League, but he certainly took that on very well. And now he's played a number of games, and that age, 27 to 35, for a keeper, I'd say is probably about right to where you should be in and around your peak, really. Fitness-wise, hopefully everything's okay, and then really it's just experience coming from there, really.
When you look ahead now to the sort of running for the rest of the season and the position the club's put itself into, what do you think they should be aiming for?
I'm certainly top half, if not the sixth spot. At the end of the day, the way they've sort of played over up until recently, they've certainly got enough there to be in the top six. For me, as Leicester's pro, they've been fantastic this season. United hasn't been consistent as they can be or have been before. City probably, Chelsea's obviously missing out at the moment, but they're starting to sneak back up now. So it's certainly there for sixth spot, fifth spot maybe, but I think obviously the top four is probably going to be out of reach, but certainly finish as high as possible. That's what they've got to do, and then hopefully hope that there's a possibility of getting in the European again.